Hello, Sujaya here, welcoming you to this video. I am back to you, bringing you some soulful information about the young children, about early childhood children. So, let me give you some examples. Now, when a parent looks at a photo album, what does the parent think about? Or maybe when the parent is showing the photo album to the child, maybe the parent just flips through the pages, goes through each of the photos, and maybe recalls some kind of memories associated with each of these photos, right? When the child is looking at the same photo album, the child is actually thinking, how did that photo actually go into that plastic sheet? And how is that plastic sheet transparent? How is that photo being seen through the plastic sheet? They don't know that this term transparent, and maybe the child is also trying to kind of move the plastic sheet around, pull the photo outside, or see for the opening that is there through the film through which the child can get the photo out, right? Now let me bring to you another example. When the parent is looking at a rattle or is just moving a rattle across the child, the parent is just maybe thinking about what kind of sound the rattle makes and probably how the child would be amused looking at the rattle, right? But the child is looking at the same rattle, but the child is actually thinking, how does the big spear of rattle have tiny balls inside it and tinier balls inside it, and how does each kind of ball that is present inside the rattle make such different noises, such different sounds? And then is there a way that the child can open it up and pull through those tiny balls outside to look at them, to feel them, to touch them, to see what kind of sound that individual ball makes? Does that individual ball make any sound at all, or is it only through the banging of multiple balls within a sphere? Is it that which is making the sound? So the child tries to pull the rattle, tries to bang it on the floor, tries to put his fingers within the holes of the main rattle and tries to catch that ball, tries to pull that little ball, the tiny balls that are present inside the rattle out. The child fails, maybe fails, and then does it again. Maybe the child succeeds. And then let me bring to you another example. Suppose there is a bouncing ball or there is a glowing ball, a ball that's kind of bouncing and also glowing, and the child has got that as a gift to the child, the parent has got that as a gift to the child. Now in this kind of ball that's glowing from within, I think when you hit it on the floor it kind of glows, and the parent is gifting this to the child, and the parent is actually awaiting to see the child's reaction when the ball actually glows when it hits the floor. And the child is maybe imagining, the parent is maybe imagining, maybe my child will enjoy this a lot, and my child will be very happy playing with this and all of that thing. And the parent will give that to the child. Boom, in the next half an hour, what has happened? The child is not just looking at the glowing light. The child is not just clapping her or his hands at the bouncing ball. The child is not just standing idle in front of the glowing ball that's actually bouncing in front of her, but the child is actually squeezing the ball, pulling the ball, stretching the outside ball, pressing it to catch hold of that light, that filament of light that is actually present within the ball, that's actually making the ball glow. The child doesn't know all these technical terms, but the child wants to find out what is there within this through which this light is coming out, the kind of glow that the ball is emitting is coming out, right? The child is doing whatever the child can up to his ability to actually understand what is there within the ball that is actually making the ball glow. Maybe if the child can recall that he or she can simply cut it out and check it, maybe the child could also ask for a scissor. But just imagine how would you react as a parent if your child will ask for a scissor to cut through this ball. Now, in each of these above scenarios, or in all of the above scenarios, if you have told the child, no, just stop it there, don't fiddle with a photo album ka sheet, don't press or punch or push or the ball, the glowing ball, or don't pull out the rattle, it's for you to play with the rattle, like just doing this, nothing else. If you have told that to your child, then congratulations, you have just conveyed to the child to not think beyond what you ask the child to do, to not create new ideas with the same item beyond how you want the child to play with that item. Congratulations, you have asked the child, or you have conveyed or assured the child, saying whatever you are thinking beyond what I have asked you to do does not actually matter. Your exploring does not actually matter. It will actually destroy the item. It will destroy the rattle. It will destroy the ball. So just stop doing all that and play however I expect you to play. Congratulations. Congratulations, you have just killed the curiosity of your child, right? The child, all that your child wanted to do was to explore that item that was handed to him, be it the photo album, be it the rattle, be it the glowing and bouncing ball, whatever it was. The child wanted to explore. The child wanted to understand the reason behind the behavior of that object. And what did you do as a parent? What does a parent do? We have asked the child to stop thinking beyond how the child is supposed to be playing or supposed to be handling that item. Now, just think for yourself, are you, I don't even say encouraging. I mean, there are classes for this. How can you encourage your child's curiosity? And there are millions of people who are kind of running around these classes. I can't even tell you the word encourage. Can you keep up to the level of your child's curiosity? Are you keeping up to the level of your child's curiosity? Or are you hindering your child's curiosity? Or are you putting a stop to your child's thinking ability? So just don't think of encouraging, at least even to the level of curiosity that they have. That's definitely more than maybe how the parent is or how the adult is in general. Are we even keeping up to that level? Are we even keeping up to our child's level of thinking, child's level of curiosity? Or are we stopping the child from thinking beyond what is expected to be done, what is supposed to be done, how an item is supposed to be handled, right? Are you hindering the child to think beyond, or are you keeping up with the child so as to develop his thinking ability? Just think for yourself and type down your learnings or what do you think about this in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.